So I'm not going to try and sell you anything this time, innit? I get asked this a lot, and it seems like a good time to do it as a clip, as a little video. Like, how did I start doing taxidermy? Like, what led to making rat people out of, half of a rat? You can imagine what that looks like. It's a chef in a barbecue made out of rats and mice. But what led to that? How did I start that? Now, the very first mouse that I skinned, I did with my girlfriend in my mum's back garden on an old an old dining table, mate, glass-topped coffee table and dining table in a back garden. Just to see if I could do it. No intentions of selling it, nothing like that. Just to see if I could, because I used to be a butcher. I was a butcher from the age of, I think, 14. I worked in a butcher shop as a Saturday lad, but I'm not overly sure if that's the right age. Maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. I'm not overly sure, but I think it was 14. And I did that until I was about 21, then I went to uni around that time. And I had on the course, 3D design course, I had a thing that was called a feasibility project. And we had to bring in something from our past and show it in the present now, like a skill, a transferable skill. Now, I used to be a butcher, and I took this very literally, which is something I do quite a lot, and it's not intentional. I don't know why, but it's just something that happens. Now, then what I did was I made a rat into a pencil case, because I thought that showed off my knife skills and how good I am with a knife. A pencil case, a lot like this one, except it had a pink pencil sharpener. And if you Google rat pencil case on the little news tab of Google, you'll probably find the picture of the original one. And they've all got a zipper down the middle and a pencil sharpener up their arse, and the legs are movable and that, googly eyes. There you go, googly eyes. And then I showed it off online to see if anyone would be interested, and they were. And I was like, brilliant, I'm going to fucking smash this, I'm going to do really well on this module in my course. Didn't, but I did end up in the papers, and pretty much with a business very quickly that I had no intention of ever starting or taking seriously. But I did, because I was at uni, and I thought, you know what, I can use this, it's good for the course. Didn't go down that well. The uni didn't really like that I'd gotten their name in the newspapers. They didn't like that. I got told, stop mentioning us in the papers. So I did various little stories with different places, which you can see if you Google, which I feel like a dickhead saying, because it's like, look at me. But people ask how it started, and that's kind of how it started, and it just fucking snowballed. I started making more stuff. This was one of the earlier things I made here. This is a squirrel with fake boobs and a dress on. And this as well, this was the puppeteer. My teacher at the time kept going on about something called narrative. Oh, you got to give something narrative and it'll make people like it. Now, I think that, right, is a standalone thing. That's half a rat with two baby chicken heads as puppets, and one of them's got an hat on. Just to distinguish that one from the other, to make it look a bit, finished, I thought in my head. Make it funny, it's wearing a hat. Why is that one wearing a hat and not the others? Who knows? Who gives a shit? But they needed narrative. So then I was like, well, what's going on is, he's the puppeteer, right? And these are his kids that he wears as puppets. But he likes this one, he don't like that one, so he protects this one from dangerous UV rays so it doesn't get skin cancer. Because he prefers it, and he wants this one to die so he can afford to give this one a better life. Didn't go down very well, they thought I was taking the piss. But that was my idea of narrative. I didn't have a clue what they were on about. But then it just snowballed, and I made more and more stuff. Let me pop these back on the wall, and then I'll show you one of the other things I've made. Like I now have this idea that I like to see how much I can make out of a rat, because it's interesting, isn't it? It's fun. So one of the things I make is these, portable i5 machines. But I've been doing it for quite a few years now, and it's just something that's keeps growing. We keep making more, and that allows me to then go and buy in other bits that I think people will like. Because I like to think I've got an eye for the weird, Because I make these are little gingerbread men made out of turkey feet. But I also thought, what, people might actually like some of these. So I got a load of these, well, not a load, I got a few of these old terracotta things. Now that's one of my new things I'm starting. Another thing I'm starting, you'll notice the clothes, based on my podcast. I've got a podcast which is taken from my radio shows. It's mad, mate. I've wrote 4 books. Well, I've made 4 books. One of them don't really have any words. It's a picture book, 50 Ways to Torture Sloths. Excuse me, getting excited. But yeah, that's how it sort of started. So if you've been wondering, that's it really. This is a very long video, and I do apologise. Normally I don't go this long. Hopefully it's been interesting enough for you to want to watch the fucking thing, but maybe it's not. Maybe no one will watch this because they'll see the length of it and be like, nah, fuck that guy. Which is fair enough. I'd probably do the same. I probably wouldn't have lasted until I turned me back here. Do you know what I mean? Shouldn't turn your back to people, and it's rude. But anyway, I'll fucking see you in a bit. Worldaroundyou.com if you're interested. There'll be a link in this or a link on my page.